Back to Common Sense and Logic.
YouTube, how's it going? I'm Caesar.
Y'all know me, Ronnie.
Welcome back.
Hope you all doing good. Thanks for checking us out.
Hope you all guys have a good weekend.
We kind of didn't, right? Your team lost and my team
lost.
lost.
We're talking about football. And
Yeah.
my whole season shot. But I was just referring overall.
Yeah, overall
I had a
it's
great
getting a
weekend.
little better, you know what I mean? So, we had time to grieve and to think about the...
Yeah. That's it's that was a tragic thing that happened, but we all got to move on and make the world a better place.
That's right. That's what Charlie Kirk would want anyways.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah. So what's going on, man? What you got for us this week, man?
There's a lot of things going on,
Always.
Related to the Charlie Kirk thing, the whole Jimmy Kimmel cancellation, supposedly, right? So Jimmy Kimmel got canceled. He was off the air for like 3 days or something like that, 5 days, and he's back on. So we're gonna dig into that, see what really happened, and what the story behind all of that was.
The flip-flopping?
The flip-flopping, exactly. So it all started with Jimmy Kimmel not supposedly, but he made a comment on his show that the shooter had to be MAGA. And this is after it was already released who the shooter was and that he was radicalized by the left. So by him going on the air and making the comment that the shooter was MAGA, he flat out lied on TV.
Not only that, but it was a disrespectful remark too.
Yeah,
He kind of said it in a joking way.
The timing was horrible, for sure.
Timing was horrible, and he's got that dumbass audience. I don't even know if it's a real live audience or not, or it's a recording with a couple of people there. But it was very disrespectful to everybody.
Very disrespectful. I mean, it was distasteful. Without taste. That the comment, the joke, supposedly the joke he said, but it was horrible timing. The Charlie Kirk incident, his assassination had just happened. So for him to say that and blame the right, MAGA, it was wrong. Like I said, he flat out lied. He knew who the shooter was. We all knew who the shooter was and what his motives were. So obviously he wasn't MAGA.
Yeah. When I heard about that, man, it was like I had a good feeling that it was just BS.
Yeah.
For what reason I don't know, but I'm like, this dude's not gonna get canceled, man.
Yeah.
He's too much of a big puppet for them.
Right.
For Hollywood, for the mainstream, ABC, CBS, all those, they're all the same. And even when they said he's suspended indefinitely, what the heck does that mean? You know what I mean? That has no meaning whatsoever.
Yeah, indefinitely was a weird...
Suspended was a thing, you know what I mean? That gave it away. If you're going to fire somebody, you're fired, you're terminated.
Exactly.
Suspended means that pretty much likely you're going to come back.
Okay.
That's what I get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, let's dig into what happened behind the scenes. What I feel happened was there was a backlash from the right, saying that his comments were not... Yeah. They were not appropriate,
right?
And so I think ABC or Disney, I guess, or maybe the syndicate,
the main
affiliates, whoever,
the owners of the network.
I know Sinclair is one or something. Well, however that works, you know. But they heard it from the stations heard it from the people. We want this guy off the air from which is nothing wrong with that.
There wasn't
what he said was wrong and or at least get an apology or something. So I think the people behind the scenes the owners talked to Jimmy Kimmel, and they asked him to make a public apology on air for the next night, the next day, and to make a contribution, donation to the Charlie Kirk family, to his wife and kids, what have you. But I guess he refused, so that's so that was off the board right there. So he didn't want to do that. He wasn't going to come back.
Right, so let's back up a little bit too, though. When that happened, the left came out too, right? They were protesting.
Oh, so you're talking about already when they canceled them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying before the cancellation, that's the talk that they had.
Okay, gotcha.
That's the talk that they had. He decided not to.
Okay.
The FCC came in, and the FCC talked to, I guess, Disney or ABC or whoever, and told them, you guys are on a public state. You guys are public airwaves.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a certain, certain ways you guys got to.
Certain standards.
Yeah, there's certain standards where you guys, when you talk on the air, and what he said was not appropriate.
Yeah.
It was making light of an assassination, political assassination. We hadn't seen one of those since Martin Luther King, I think, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so we had never. We hadn't seen it
to that level where Charlie was. He was very influential.
For sure,
to the point where he was uniting and spreading the love and knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's what Martin Luther King was doing too. He
Exactly.
was, these two guys were about, unity, love, and respect. As we said before,
without violence. Yeah, without violence.
It was political, but without violence, without calling for violence, without trying to initiate any kind of violence. So that's why he was at that level.
Right.
Because I know that there's people that are going to say, other people have gotten shot and killed, but they weren't at that level.
Yeah.
They're politically.
No, they definitely were not at that level. So there probably has been. There's been other political assassinations, but not to that level.
No.
Where they were influencing that many people and what have you. But okay, so we hadn't seen any of that in our life. I hadn't seen it in my lifetime. So this is something big, major. And for him to make light of the situation by cracking that joke, that it must have been MAGA. It must have been the right that did it, knowing that it wasn't flat out lying. So the FCC came in. There's certain standards that need to be met. You guys are going to be on the airwaves, public airwaves. So they asked them. Apparently, I forgot. Brendan Carr is the chairman or the main guy of the FCC. He asked ABC or Disney, whoever the owners are. He asked them, we could do it the easy way or the hard way.
Okay.
Something like that, right? Yeah. But I mean, we all know that wasn't the reason he was taken off the air. He's the dude has low ratings.
Yeah.
I think that this gave Disney a door. They gave him a door, okay, because they knew he was losing money, and he has low ratings.
He was,
so this happened. Okay, this is our time to get him off his contract. But like you said, they didn't fire him. They said suspended indefinitely.
Right. I think that it was a business call. They saw that his ratings were falling to the ground, and they found a good timing to call him in and say, hey, we got to do something about this. How about we suspend you, make people think that you're gonna go off the air? I don't know what they're thinking.
Right.
But the point was that at first they were saying that it was because of the whole FCC, which I don't think it had nothing to do with it either.
Right.
Again, I think it was a business call from Disney or whoever it was.
I believe it was a business call, but the whole left and everybody that was complaining, like you said, all the uproar, the backlash when he did get canceled or got taken off the air, they were blaming Donald Trump.
They were blaming Donald Trump.
That he pressured the FCC, and the FCC pressured the owners of a show, whatever, of the Jimmy Kimmel show. But we all know that's not true, man. The dude was off the air for 3 to 5 days. I'm not even sure how long. He was back on Tuesday night. I think he got fired.
So I think it was during the weekend too.
Yeah, that's
so
the
those
thing.
2 days don't really count.
Yeah. So I think he only missed Friday and Monday.
That's what it was, I think.
If I want to, maybe Thursday, but for sure Friday and Monday because he was back on the air on Tuesday.
And before the audience out there, they start talking smack about us that we don't know our facts and all this and that, right? We told you guys before, this is not about giving you guys information. You guys should already know this because
and it's easy to look up information for you guys.
It's easy to look up too.
Yeah.
Just give us a minute. We're gonna tie this all up with common sense and logic.
Right.
We're just trying to give you a little bit of a background of what the event.
Yeah, exactly. We give you the background as best as we know it without really researching it or anything like that. Getting stats. We don't have papers in front of us where we write all kinds of stats. We're just telling you what we know. Like I said, if you guys want exact details, research it, Google it, whatever. But just give you a quick background of the whole situation.
Right.
Like you said, we're going to tie it back in with common sense and logic. But, okay, so where were we at? He
got suspended. He got taken off the air for 2 days.
So the whole left came out. Hollywood, all the other shows, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, what's his name? Fallon or Fallon? I don't know who he is.
Jimmy Fallon.
But even man, a guy that I loved when I was a youngster and I was really disappointed. David Letterman came out too, man. That was horrible. They all blamed Trump that he was authoritarian. All kinds, like, really? And that's how we're going to tie in common sense in a little bit. But yeah, so they're all blaming Donald Trump for pressuring the FCC pressuring the owners. But that's not the real reason he got taken off.
No, but let's talk about that. Let's talk about why Trump is getting the heat over this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people tend to believe everything they hear on the news and, you know, social media and all that he's a dictator and all that.
Yeah.
And listen, whether you think that Jimmy Kimmel had his freedom of speech taken away from him, I call BS on that.
I call BS too.
Because I honestly think that anybody on that platform, like TV, right? Anything that has to do with TV, I don't think that they should have that freedom of speech. Why? Because they influence people. Not only the people that are just watching them, but, I mean, anybody and everybody that doesn't even agree with him. Like, for example, I'm at home, right? And someone in my family want to watch his show, and I don't. But we're all, you know, gathered there as a family. And let's just say that one of the kids wants to watch his show for whatever reason. We have to watch that. We have to listen to that. So he's influencing everybody in that household.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the reason why we can't let that happen is because they're only one-sided.
Right.
They're always just on the left. They're never, like, for example, they make fun of Trump all the time.
Yeah.
They always point out all his wrongdoings, if there's any, his mistakes and all that. We saw that with Biden. How many times did they make fun of Biden?
Yeah, never.
So that's why I say, you know, anybody like in those type of platforms should not have that right to influence people. I mean, they have the right to their freedom of speech and their their ideas and everything else, but that should be off that platform. For example, like the Casey, what's his name, Kelsey and his brother.
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer, I think. Well, I don't remember.
No, Kelsey from the Chiefs.
Oh, Travis Kelsey. Okay.
Travis Kelsey and his brother, they have a
they do okay. Yeah.
So they talk about whatever they want, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine because only the people that want to follow and watch.
Yeah, that's not public airways.
It's
not.
not.
It's not. Yeah.
So in that sense, that's free game. That's fine.
Yeah.
But when you're on that platform, when you're playing football, and then you start, you know, not saying the pledge of allegiance and not going with that kind of flow, and you're trying to influence other people, you know, to go against it, I don't think they belong there. I don't think they should be there.
Okay. Overall, I don't think it was. They were blaming the freedom of speech, but I mean, freedom of speech protects you from the government and from the law, from them sending you to jail, whatever, for the law. You know, you can say whatever the hell you want, but now we're talking about public airways. You know, there's standards. You can't be.
You have to play both sides.
You can't be straight up lying. Yeah, speaking of playing both sides, Johnny Carson, man, that guy, we never knew nobody ever knew what he voted. We didn't know if he voted Republican or Democrat because he kept it, he made fun of both sides. And that's what we all wanted to see, you know? If you're going to pick on one side, pick on both sides, and we're cool with that, you know? We're there for the comedy, you know?
Well, you know, if you guys don't believe that, then you have to look at Tucker, remember?
Yeah.
He got let go because of the way he was thinking, the way he was.
Yeah, there's a lot of people got Rush Limbaugh,
Jay Leno took some heat for that.
Yeah.
Tim Allen from Home Improvement.
Right.
Roseanne,
the girl, Carano.
There's a lot of people that were on the same platform as Jimmy Kimmel, but because they were talking, you know, for the right, they got canceled.
By the left.
They got silent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people on the left celebrated all that.
Right.
And I'm not talking about just average people. People in Hollywood celebrated when they got let go, fired, suspended, whatever happened to them. The fact that they're not on TV anymore, they were happy about that.
Right.
But now they were crying because of this happened to Jimmy.
Yeah. You know, they're like, the hypocrisy is there. One day they're saying one thing when, you know, Tucker or the other people they were saying, that's not freedom of speech. But when it happens over here, that's freedom of speech, you know?
Well,
so it's you know, like...
Look at the stupidity right there. Charlie Kirk got assassinated. They were celebrating that.
Right.
And then Jimmy simply gets suspended,
Yeah.
and they lose it.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make any sense?
Where's the common sense in that, man? You're gonna complain about, you're gonna celebrate the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He lost his life, and you guys gonna complain about Jimmy Kimmel just losing his job for, instead of his life. It just doesn't make sense, yeah.
Right, and Kirk, Charlie Kirk had his platform, and like what we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
that's a different kind of platform.
Oh, big time, yeah.
You know, his followers are
Yeah.
getting influenced.
Yeah.
Not everybody that don't even want to get influenced
Right.
are getting influenced, or we're getting influenced by him. So you can't compare those two platforms.
Yeah, definitely very different platforms. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel was worldwide. I could imagine his shows are probably shown around the world. His shows shown around the world, but it's on public stations, so there is a certain standards. It's got to be met.
It's got to be mad. I
Yeah.
hope that they do something about that,
Yeah.
because it's not fair, dude. It's almost like having two persons out on the street. One across the street has a blowhorn,
Yeah.
right? A speaker, and the other one doesn't. How is that fair?
Yeah. Different
Right?
platforms.
You're not going to be able to hear what the other dude without the microphone is saying. You're only going to be able to hear the other guy.
Yeah.
So to be fair, they would both have to have some kind of speaker, you know what I mean? Microphone. And
Be playing on the same playing level for
Yeah.
sure. Be on the same.
that's
playing
the
level.
way I see it, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
But the bottom line is, okay, he was gone for a couple of days because I guess the owners, ABC or Disney, they lost $4 billion
Yeah.
from people canceling Disney subscriptions, all that. They lost $4 billion. So common sense tells you, why was he brought back? It was a business decision. They lost $4 billion, so they brought him back. Same thing why they took him off. It was a business decision.
So it had nothing to do with his freedom of speech.
It had nothing to do with the freedom of speech. It had nothing to do with Donald Trump pressuring the FCC or what have you. Because if that was the case, if Donald Trump pressured the FCC, wouldn't it make sense that he pressured them to put him back on? If he has this power,
Right.
then it just doesn't make sense.
That's exactly right. For the people that were crying
Yeah.
and trying to protest and all that.
They should give Donald the credit for bringing him back.
There you go. Exactly. That's the common sense and logic, folks. That's exactly what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, they always flip flop on their hypocrisy.
Yeah, definitely think about that, man. If supposedly Donald Trump took him off, then who brought him back on then?
There you go.
But that was never the case. It was a business decision. They took him off, and it was a business decision. They brought him back in. It's common sense. That's the reason. His ratings are lower than Stephen Colbert. Is that how you pronounce it? Colbert.
I don't know. That's
Colbert?
another puppet.
Yeah. So, and he's already done. He's gonna be gone by the end of the year, I believe.
Well, they say he is. Who knows?
And his ratings are better than Jimmy Kimmel. So his ratings are better than Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel's losing more money. It's a business decision that, why they took him off, why they wanted to take him off. They figured it was a good opening, a good timing, but I guess they probably didn't count on the backlash.
Right.
The backlash came, so they were forced to put him back on, losing $4 billion, what have you. So they were forced, but I think, honestly, I don't think his contract's going to be renewed by the end of the year. I mean, but for the new year.
Don't know, don't care.
Yeah, I honestly don't think he'll be back next year, but that's just me speculating.
Look, I have a sense of humor. I like jokes, and there's some good jokes on Trump, right? But when I hear jokes from the same person over and over, and about Trump only, nothing else, then
we could all take a joke. It's fine that you make fun of Trump, except they're funny, But do it on the other side too, there was plenty to laugh about with Kamala, whatever her name was.
Kamala.
Yeah. There was plenty to laugh with her and plenty to laugh with Biden, but they would never joke about them.
They won't. They would uplift them rather than make fun of them.
That's why I loved Johnny Carson. He would pick on everybody, and it was funny.
Jay Leno used to pick on everybody.
I never really watched a lot of Jay Leno, but I do remember Johnny Carson, and he would pick on everybody. If Jay Leno did the same thing, that's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be.
If you're gonna do political satire, just do it across the board.
Yeah.
Don't be partisan. Just pick both. Pick on both sides.
That's right.
But what happens is when you pick on one side, and this is common sense as well here. When you pick on one side, you're gonna alienate 50% of the people. If he's just picking on Donald Trump, and he's saying that, to be honest, I don't want his followers to watch my show. Mm-hmm. He's already taken off 50% of people that could be watching him. Mm-hmm. What do you think the owners of his show are thinking? Like, what are you doing, dude? Yeah. Well, why are you saying that?
They're thinking like I am.
Yeah, like, why are you saying that? Why are you gonna alienate 50% of the people that could be watching you? That's not a good business decision.
Well, they're thinking like the way I said earlier. You know what I mean? We're being forced to listen to this.
Yeah.
And if we're being forced to listen to this, we're just gonna flip it.
Yeah.
We're gonna turn it off or flip it to a different channel.
Yeah, that's what the ratings show. He's horrible, man.
Exactly, because he's got to do it both sides. Yeah. You know, do your thing, do your job. You know what I mean? But.
Right.
I mean, damn, once in a while, go against the left. Yeah. I know you're a puppet and all that, and you're getting paid by them, but, I mean, even your bosses are telling you now, hey, you're doing it all wrong.
Right. And, so it was never a freedom of speech thing. It definitely, like, he can say whatever he wants, but there's got to be consequences, too. If you're on the public station, public airways, there's going to be consequences. You can say whatever you want, but... be ready to be prepared for the consequences.
Well, I'm happy that I'm not seeing all that nonsense on football like I did last year and the year before that and the year before that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it looks like that's coming down a little bit.
Well, I mean, you heard what's going on, right? The NFL chose Bad Bunny to...
Yeah.
That's an uproar. That was news today. We'll get into that another time. But he's anti-ICE and...
Bring it on right now.
All right. He said he'd never tour the U.S.,
we're talking about Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
that rapper, I guess.
He's going to be doing the halftime performance for the Super Bowl. But this guy claimed he's not going to tour the U.S. because he's anti-Trump, anti-ICE, whatever, They offer him the Super Bowl show. All of a sudden, I'll do it, So what common sense logic tells you it's about the money, Yeah. It's about the money. It never was, oh man. If he has high morals or like his conviction is... against ICE, then don't do Super Bowl,
That just goes to show you, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all for my people and all that, but I'll turn on them real quick when I get that money.
Yeah, it absolutely makes no sense at all, man. Why, what he's talking about. There's no common sense with that.
And that guy has a big following, so...
Yeah, he does.
Anybody out there that follows that dude, you guys should know what we're talking about. I don't know too much about that guy.
Yeah, I don't know too much about him other than that. I guess reggaeton is what he is. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I mean, I see that he cross dresses, right? He wears dresses and high heels or something.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if he's doing that just for the videos or I don't know too much about him, but
it's a total puppet, man. When I see people like that, a puppet is someone that made it big and they're still making it big. But they're being told what to do.
Right.
They're like, hey, you got to wear a pink dress. They got to wear it. If they want to become famous and keep elevating, they have to do that.
Right.
And what do we know about the left, the liberals? That's what they, commercialize. That's what they put out there, for everybody.
They advocate all that.
They advocate all that. That's what they want. That's what they, promote. So anybody like him, they're gonna do that. LeBron James does that. There's all kinds of people that do that.
Right.
And the people that don't go with their flow, then their career gets crushed, or they start putting them down.
Yeah. So by you saying that the NFL was calming down with all that, but this was a big shocker today because conservatives.
That sucks.
They're not gonna like that,
And that goes with what I was saying earlier.
He's pretty much saying he's anti-USA, and then you're gonna put him. Right. You're going to give them the platform for the Super Bowl?
But that goes with what I was saying earlier. Look, I'm going to be watching the Super Bowl, right? Tons of people are. Like, let's say we have a barbecue here, and we're all watching the Super Bowl. Now we're almost, not necessarily forced to, but in a way, he comes out at halftime, and he's going to be performing. And let's just say he is wearing a pink dress, and we don't want to see that. We don't agree with that. It's almost like we're forced to, you know what I mean?
Because they're putting it on there. But to be honest with you, halftime shows, I never watch it.
Yeah, I
never watch it. We're hanging out, mingling with people, eating, barbecuing, flipping the burgers. I never watch that.
Right, but that's you. But what about the little kids running around? But, it's almost like you have to have, some kind of controlling, right? Like, halftime's on, let's flip it, let's turn it off. It shouldn't be that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
It should be even. Don't promote your freaking liberal crap on TV, man. You know?
It should have been. It should have been someone that's gonna bring the country that's about unity, not division. Bad Bunny. It sounds like there's more division. Like he wants divided.
And if you're okay with that, then you're gonna have to be okay and don't cry when you see someone like Kid Rock on stage and he's promoting everything that's good for the right.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's tried to do it before, and then he gets heat over that.
Right.
All the people that promote the right and the good, promote God and love and family and kids and all that.
Right.
They get silenced.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. Yeah, but we got a little sidetracked there. But just wrapping it back to the Jimmy Kimmel show. So when he came back on, did you see his first show when he came back on?
I didn't.
What he said?
No.
He gave a fake apology. Honestly, crocodile tears. It was horrible. He really didn't apologize. Man. This guy didn't apologize. He didn't admit that he was wrong. He didn't say I lied. He should have just straight up said I lied. Sorry. I people would have been cool with that. The people that that were upset by his remarks, but he didn't. He gave a fake apology, and he said it wasn't meant to be a joke. He actually said it wasn't meant to be a joke. But here's how he's contradicting himself, because later on in that same show he said Donald Trump can't take a joke. So which is it? Is it a joke? Is it a joke or is it not a joke?
Right, yeah.
So he contradicted himself. When he was giving his apology, he said, by no means did I mean to make light of the situation. It wasn't a joke, but later on, he started just ranting on Donald Trump, that they forced him to get out, and he took out his friend Stephen Colbert. But no, I'm here, and then he said that he did the opposite. He gave me more ratings today, and it was that night he did have.
Well, we all saw that.
Yeah.
We all saw that because everybody wants to know what was going to happen.
It was predictable, but the next day I'm sure his ratings went back down. Whatever.
And they are.
But we went back to normal. But that night he goes, but you gave me big ratings. But then he said, and just because a dictator can't take a joke. So which was it? Was it a joke or it was not a joke? He contradicted himself.
Yeah,
so.
that was flip flop, man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that these guys, the liberals, I'm sorry, it's like they don't have any common sense and logic.
Right. Yep. That's right, man.
Again, look what happened with Charlie Kirk, and look at our reaction. And it wasn't just one person or a few persons; it was a lot. Like 99% of his following acted the way we all want to, just with peace, calmness, no destruction, no protesting. No crying, no kicking and screaming. Yeah. That's the way we do it.
No violence, for sure. No burning down communities, businesses, none of that.
And with that Jimmy Kimmel thing, they were about to do that. They were already out on the street protesting.
If they would have kept them off, there definitely would have been riots and violence. Yeah. And that's all they know.
That's the liberal way, man.
That's all they know. It's just if they don't agree with what you have to say, your views, they're going to riot and protest and just be violent out there, That's what they're about, man.
No common sense and logic.
Yeah.
And we welcome anybody to this platform to give us some ideas, subjects to talk about, and we're gonna connect it with common sense and logic, because that's all we're doing here.
Yeah, we're just trying to have you guys open up your eyes, at least think for yourselves, and do some critical thinking. Just critical thinking, do some research, and not just go off of what you see on mainstream media. Actually research the subject yourself and just think for yourselves, man.
That's exactly right. Just think. I for one say you don't have to do any research. You're getting the same information that we have. We have no special channels or influencers out there. It's just common sense and logic. Look at what you see one day and look at what you see the next day or even in the same day, and put it all together. And again, this is not about the right or the left. It seems that way because we're more calm. We don't flip flop on our feelings, on our what we're talking about, on our truth. We try to keep it together. But You know,
we're actually cool when they make fun of our side, but keep it even. Make fun of the other side. But the left, they're not cool when they make fun of their side. They could only make fun of the other side. That's a difference, you know.
That's a huge difference.
We're okay. I'm fine with them making fun of Donald Trump, you know. I don't have a problem with that, or making fun of previous Republican president, as long as you do it for the other side. You keep it even.
It's happened to us, right, where we actually do talk to people out on the street once in a while, and we get into a political talk where they start calling us stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like, we don't understand, like, why we're having a talk,
right?
And only because you're losing your argument, you start name calling people. Like,
yeah, that's what they're. Yeah, when they lose an argument or when they don't agree with you, they resort to name calling, degrading, and just aggressive.
Yeah, they get very aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive attitude and stuff like that, where they just can't talk. You know, they can't accept other people's point of view, political views. You know, right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It should never resort to violence, and that's what it boils down to, man. It was horrible what happened to Charlie Kirk just because of his ideals and political views. That should never be the answer. Violence should never be the answer.
And we're not blaming everybody for one person, but in a sense, we kind of do because of your actions that happen afterwards.
Right.
You know, you start making fun of people.
Yeah.
And how do you expect us to react to that? Not call it out?
Right.
Because that's all we're doing. We're calling it out. It's very stupid to celebrate someone's death just because
common sense.
You disagree with their ideal.
It's common sense. Never celebrate somebody's death. It's just morally wrong, man. It's horrible. And
like Jimmy, you know, I don't really think I saw too much celebrating for that. You know, Jimmy Kimmel.
Celebrating as far as
he's getting suspended.
Oh, I see. Yeah. We didn't care.
We agreed to it because of the way he.
We thought it was appropriate. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But when
we started hearing that his ratings were low and, you know, he was losing money, then okay, it really makes more sense, you know.
Yeah.
But we didn't go out there and celebrate.
You know what I mean? But again, that's the way we handle things, you know. Both sides, you know, we handle things different, so. It is what it is.
It is what it is, man. But use your common sense and logic, folks.
Right.
Keep using that. What do we say?
Common sense and logic?
What do we say?
Common sense and logic. If you have it, use it. If you don't,
come on back.
Because
we'll try to help you in the right direction.
That's right. And again, leave us a like, subscribe, and share this with someone else. You know, if you don't have how do I say? If you don't have the guts to put something out there that we could talk about, give it to someone else. Maybe they'll help you out. You know. Yeah. Just leave. Nothing's off the table here. Yeah, we're not here to judge anybody, and we're just. I know we're being judged. Oh yeah, that's fine. You know, that's fine. This is our table. Common sense and logic. We're not pros. We're just regular folk out here just talking. You know. Yeah, we're not pros. You know, I mean, like I told you guys from the very beginning, we don't edit this stuff. Yeah. This is all flowing. There's no notes here whatsoever. We have nothing. This is just information that we gather from. We don't have any teleprompters in front of us. Nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like, we're not trying to be like everybody else, and we're not trying to give you what everybody else gives you. We're trying to give you common sense and logic because it seems like that's lacking big time everywhere. Yeah, man, that's missing in today's society for sure. Yeah, from what I see. Yeah, and if you think that we don't have it, that's what we're asking you. Bring some subjects up. Bring something to the table so we could, you know, both get in there and look at it. Yeah, and as far as political views and ideas, there's no right or wrong. We're not saying we're right, but we use common sense when we do our thinking, you know, and that's what we want you guys to do is to do your common sense. That's all we're asking. Again, bring a subject, a topic. You don't have to, if you want to make your argument, type it in. Okay, fine. Let us know what you're thinking on that. But if you want to hold on and you want to see what we bring to the table on that subject, and then you want to do it after to like, hey guys, I disagree with you guys. Why don't you guys look at it this way? Then that's fine. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we want. Because we want to find out if we're doing this thing right and trying to help you guys out too. Correct. Yeah. What Charlie Kirk did was open debate, you know, just hear each other's viewpoint and meet up in the middle. That's right. All right. So thanks a lot for watching. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next week. All right. Have a nice week. I'm Caesar again. Take care. Take care. We love you guys. And
Be
hopefully,
safe out there, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Every Monday we do this. The video goes up on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, sometimes on Thursdays, depending. I work, you know, we're regular dudes. We don't do this for a living. So we got our, you know, regular lives to live on. And when I get a chance, you know, I got to upload these videos and whatnot for, you know, just so you guys can see it.
Yeah, this guy puts in all the hard work, man. Yeah. Give him a shout out.
No editing. No editing. This is all natural, all raw, all true.
I'm sure you guys can tell.
Right?
We're just two common guys, man. That's all
right.
it is.
And we're going to stay that way.
Right?
Right?
All right, guys. Take care for sure.
All right. Peace out.
See you guys.
Love you guys.
Take care.